Hi Virgo, this is your homework family reading for July 16th through the 31st. All Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Now, on this video, you're going to hear me say we a lot because, honestly, for me, if you don't already know, I'm a rising Virgo, the way the chart's laid out. I also have Virgo in my 12th house as well as my first house, and Venus is in Virgo. So, I really have to pay attention to Virgo stuff. With that being said, let me hit the bell. Yeah, that didn't take long to hit that right tone that I'm looking for. Alright, Virgos. First off, I know I'm going to speak of astrology for just a second, but most of you only know of Virgos being ruled by Mercury. That's true, but that's not only true. You're also ruled by Chiron. And Virgo right now is in Aries, and that explains so much because Spirit kept giving me the Aries sign, and I was like, I don't get it. And it's because in the astrology right now, I believe Chiron is in Aries and it's in retrograde. And as soon as I noticed this, some of you are really just letting the word vomit out. And I'm laughing because I know I have been. So some of you are really letting the word vomit out because Spirit just choked me right as I came to start the reading. And I was acknowledging that Chiron is also one of your rulers. And at that point, more or less, I got choked up. So either you're choked up in what to say, choked up within a situation, or they're telling you to watch your words in some of these situations because Mercury is also in retrograde. So for some of you, it's one of the two things. Like I said, they basically, and I was like, all right. And I know for me personally, my word vomit's been coming out a little too much lately, so I can understand how that would go either way. With that being said, you had made a statement about something else. What was it? They were saying more or less, though, that this is definitely about an overall healing within the situation. I'm being given a little bit of Hebrew, but before I get into the Hebrew, I'm also being given, and it took me a minute to get when I started to do the meditation, because I was given like Buddha, Ganesh, as you know, gods or divine beings, but they're really pulling me to the big fat belly. And what this is what they're pulling me to look at. Like, when I look at Buddha and Ganesh, I think of the big fat belly on them as being full of energy. You've taken in the energy, you have learned, you have acknowledged a lot. So you have a full stomach of understanding. But I'm also feel like I'm being guided to the fact that this is also the womb. And in some areas, I do feel like there are some Virgos that are either pregnant or just getting pregnant right now. More or less about to birth or just now getting pregnant. But what I'm really being drawn to is the womb. And this goes right back to where they choked me as well. Because what I'm being given next speaks to you, well, the womb is where you grow like a baby. When the baby is in the womb, this is where it grows until you give birth. If you plant a seed in the ground, it grows underground until it breaks through into the sunlight, and then we can see it. They are asking you, what are you feeding the womb? And are you giving it a healthy entrance? Because I'm being given, for one, and I have just a little piece of my notes here, I'm being given two different signs, but they make sense. In Hebrew, I'm being given Delt, which is the number 4. It speaks to us of the door, the move, and an entrance itself. the entrance of something, going through the door, and only you can go through the door. It's up to you to make that free will choice. But I'm also being given rush, and I've been saying rush a lot lately. Rush often is the sun card in the tarot cards. And it's being, in the way I am given it, is the punishment or the blessing. Every day you have a choice. So what are you creating? And whatever it is you are creating within that womb is what will enter into your life. You get what I'm saying? So it goes from rush, which is what are you creating, the punishment or the blessing, inside of the womb itself. And for some of you, you're choosing the punishment. And I'm being told this has to do with the heart chakra, the throat chakra, obviously with Mercury in retrograde. Some of you, this has to deal with a lot of grief. Making decisions and starting cycles again without realizing that you're doing it based off of a decision you're making off of grief, which is going to lead you back down the same road. From insecurities and from helplessness, feeling like you're rejected and you don't know what to do, you can't make the right decision, from insecurities about trusting within yourself, and grief, sorrow. And because of them, I feel like what I'm being told is some of what you have in the womb that you're about to birth into your life, you're being warned for some of you. You need to take that sun card. You need to take that Hebrew understanding of the resh and realize it's a blessing or a punishment, and only you choose. So get on the right side of yourself. Forgive yourself. Have faith in self. Believe in self. Claim yourself is what they're saying. And as you claim yourself with growth, you become more healthy and mature, bringing healing into your life. Moving you away from lack of that opposition, lack of support or opposition, and lack of worry. Moving you into a more positive place. Some of you are in that rush and you're rebirthing a very positive thing. But I feel like I'm being given a warning in that situation of some of you need to really get deep with what you have in the womb, what you're bringing to you, what you're manifesting, what you're creating and rebirthing, and you're not realizing from a lower vibrational, lower self-esteem, lower value of self, lower self-value. Because for some reason that's what you believe, that you need to get out of that thinking because you're creating a new cycle to start again. That's the rush or the punishment. The rush, which is the blessing or the punishment. And Spirit is warning you for some of you. Because it takes you to the Delt, which is the door, the entrance, and the ability to move in general. And that's basically what I'm being given by Spirit. Outside of, I'm also being given Menez, which comes from my runes. And I'm just going to read it from the book. Menez looks like this. Okay? It is man, humanity, people, and air. It is the world of people. It is intelligence, creative skill, and ability. It focuses on awareness of self and one's place within the scheme of things. Self-realization through the ordering of everyday daily tasks. It shows the presence of someone who is seeking their true path, or it shows the presence of someone who feels weak, lost, and victimized. It can indicate the highest level of your spiritual and magical achievement, depending on which direction you're taking it. It is self-realized consciousness. It is individual becoming the hero, no longer seeking the quest because they are actually on the quest. It is awakening to one's place within the world. One can only play one's own part by learning what their part is. It is understanding there is a belonging, there is a divine manifestation and human acceptance of the twin nature of both human and divine energies. And it is the realization that comes from playing your part, realizing who you are, coming into exactly what and where you're supposed to be, understanding it, and being the only you that you can be, because nobody else can be you. And sometimes we have to rise and find who we are. And I feel like in this case, some of you are really starting to come to the responsibilities of standing up and facing yourself in these cases. Now, that is what I get from Spirit alone. From the 16th through the 31st in astrology, you have, first off, the lunar eclipse, which takes place in Capricorn. But here's what most people aren't telling you. Ceres is in Sagittarius, and Ceres and Jupiter, which are both in Sagittarius, have been in retrograde. But on the 16th, the day of the lunar eclipse, and that full moon, Ceres goes direct. Ceres is nurturing, mothering. She is how you deal with the flow of the natural flow of energy. Like I said, this has to do with the womb of what you're creating. This is also too close to home. This is karma. Ceres is too close to home. She is karma. She is very nurturing, mothering, and parenting. But when you're on the wrong side of Ceres, she becomes neglect in all forms. And she's going to be moving towards Jupiter, magnifying this energy. So are you nurturing yourself with truth and honesty and what it is you need? Or are you neglecting yourself because you're nurturing something else? Or because you're nurturing something from the past? Okay? This is very important right now because this is going to be making a big difference as to what's going on, and it starts the same day of that lunar eclipse. The lunar eclipse in Capricorn is also going to be speaking to you of, let me find here, it's going to be speaking to you of, I opened it right to the right thing. In some cases, for the older group, this is speaking to anything from like 30 to 35 years ago. Something that may have played out that's similar to now is playing out again, or reminding you or breaking you back to that time, because there's something to learn from a possible mistake that was made then. Same with, I think it's 12 years ago, and same with 7 years ago. Situations that may be reoccurring or returning in some form. Now, for you, this is speaking about your universal fifth house. And in the universal fifth house, because this is Capricorn for you, this is also where Pluto, this is also where Saturn and the South Node are. So right off the bat, there's something about this energy that you've gotten very good at, but it doesn't serve you and it's not helping you anymore. And this is in your pursuit of pleasure. This is speaking to you about your creativity, the children in your life. This is speaking to you about your personal interests, your sports, your hobbies, drama, creative expression, dancing, dating, sex, what you enjoy about life. So the big question here, if it's a lunar eclipse and you know the South Node is here, the first question is, what are you not enjoying? What are you not receiving? What's not happening that's keeping you from enjoying life as to the fullest that you could? Because something about this, you've gotten good at not giving yourself that enjoyment. And you've gotten good at telling yourself an excuse about why you don't need it or deserve it. And this is speaking to you about the fact, see, and I'm being choked again right now. Which is making me feel like in relationships, you're not standing up and not speaking your truth. You're allowing somebody else to dictate to you what they want. Because like I said, I'm being choked. Like you don't feel like you can speak what you want to do. Like you're not capable of getting everything that you want to enjoy in life. You're not capable of receiving your pursuit of pleasure because somebody else keeps stepping on your words, keeps stepping on what's important to you because theirs is more important, and that's not true. Or because they're pushing you around in some way and you're allowing it, and it's time to push back. It's time to push back and to not allow yourself to be choked anymore. Because I feel like it's not about you speaking your truth in a way that's a little too word vomity. I feel like there's certain areas where you need not necessarily to be word vomity or negatively aggressive, but you need to take action and speak it, because if you don't, the changes won't happen. This is about the rules, the walls, the boundaries, the limitations, and the withholdings that are keeping you from achieving your pursuit of pleasure. What's standing in your way, what's getting in your way, acknowledging it and allowing it to die so that you can rebirth in a new way. Pluto is death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, and regeneration, which means reincarnation and rebirth. There is something that you've allowed. Let's not get that twisted. There's something you haven't taken responsibility for, and you've allowed to have what's important to you, your ideas of pleasure and where you're enjoying life, to be pushed back on the side burner. Maybe you're helping others. Maybe you're being a good Samaritan. I don't know. But there's something that you're doing that's not supporting you, because in the long run, when you move away from that universal fifth house and you don't give yourself the justice of needing it, you're also shutting up that inner child. You're choking that inner child, which then stops you from enjoying life. The inner child must still be part of your life, or you can't enjoy and have creativity to continue to grow and move forward in a positive, healthy, healing way. And for you, this is speaking directly to your 11th house. So some of this is taking place in that outer community, those larger groups, those friends, those wishes, those memberships. Part of the society and the friends and the people you keep in your life that are standing in the way of you reaching your ambitions, standing in the way of you reaching your goals, finding liberty and self-realization, and being able to speak into that humanitarian interests. Now, this is where you're also going to have a new moon at the end of the month, starting in Cancer and then moving into Leo on the last day of the month, the same day that Mercury goes direct. So this is a full circle in all forms. This is a full circle this month has been. And this energy is saying something in that outer community could be very positive, but are you finding the positive situation? Are you keeping the right friends that are positive and helping you find your self-realization, helping you find that support within those goals and those hopes and those ambitions of those larger communities and grow and mature? Or are you still hanging out with ones that are not? Because this is where the North Node is, and you must learn this in order to move forward. One is about letting go of something, one is about stepping into a brand new world. Even though they may be a full moon with a lunar eclipse, which just is magnifying it. Like, boing, magnifying it. It's not a regular full moon where this is release, surrender, let go. This is, in case you missed it, let me smack you on the face to make sure you got it. And, by the way, just in case you didn't get it, let me throw some shit at you from 30-some years ago. And let me throw some shit at you from 7 years ago. And let me throw some shit at you from, the last 12 years. And see if between all of that, maybe you could get it. That's the way this works when you have eclipses. And they're magnifying these energies because they're helping you release butt tons of information that you've been holding on to that no longer serve you. Where you've created bad patterns, bad addictions that are keeping you from moving forward. So that is your main information that's going on. But in your universal 4th house is where I was first talking about Ceres being in retrograde and going direct on the same day, which is speaking to your inner emotional security, which is speaking to your karmic lessons, speaking to how you reincarnate, because it's the 4th house, speaking to the true self and the roots of who you are and where those roots have been planted wrongly. The womb, where they were in the womb and planted wrongly, so that you don't rebirth a new cycle. This is, if it's not supporting your inner emotional security, get rid of it. And allow your inner child to be able to heal. That's really what this is all talking about. Now, for you again, on your universal 8th house, which is like I was just saying, I felt like Spirit was saying it had to do with being choked and not being able to speak, or be able to do what it is you desire, what was keeping you from getting into the pleasure of your life, getting into the creativity of the things you want to do, because you keep being put on the back burner. Chiron is in Aries, which is the universal 8th house. It's a brand new place for brand new beginnings on a universal level. But for you, it's always a rebirthing place. It's a brand new alpha place. Okay, but it speaks to you of what are the joint efforts, the joint finances, the joint resources within these relationships. Where are the freaking roles within these relationships wrong? Where are the boundaries within these relationships wrong? This is exactly what they're talking about. Where is the joint not joint? Where is it not fair? And then how do we make it fair and turn the relationship into something that is now a transforming and healing relationship? Transformation of healing, basically. And the only way you're going to do that is to not get choked up, to not be pushed around, and to stand up for what it is you want. Because if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for everything. Okay, you also have, I'm sorry, Spirit looked like they were doing something in my notes. On the 22nd, the sun is going into Leo, and on the 27th, Venus is going into Leo. So this is going into your 12th house. So they're really getting into some of that subconscious shit you don't want to deal with. Some of those hidden selves you don't want to deal with. Where have you allowed these bad patterns, bad addictions, everyday mundane tasks to become something that you've now deemed acceptable when you know damn well it's not? Where are you hiding your unconscious actions? This is where karmic debts sit and build and grow. This is self-deception. This is your own self-undoing because of these bad habits that you've now taught yourself are acceptable when you know they're not. This is where you hold on to grief, where you hold on to sorrow, where you hold on to regrets, where you hold on to anger. This is the skeletons in the closet. And again, in that universal 8th house, you also have Eris, which is Medusa there, still. And she's still pointing out where injustice has been served. And she's still having a fit dealing with trouble, toil, and strife. So, it's a time for you to get a little word vomiting, is what it looks like to me. It's a time for you to get a little word vomiting. But speaking your truth does not have to be a negative thing. You can be aggressive and assertive in a positive way. And it's up to you to acknowledge how to do that. Because each one of us take things a little bit differently. And only you know how to be the best you can be. Now, let's see what does the cards have to say for Virgo. Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. I love this card. Not really, but I love this card. Patience, 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 patience. The harvest is not ripe. What was I just saying? It's in the womb. It's in the womb. It has not fully matured for a harvest yet. And what they're showing me is, like, the stalk here is green. The stalk is still growing. So these flowers, these pentacles itself, have not hatched. Like, I am being sent to this all the time. All this energy has had dragons all over it. They keep going hatch, Humpty Dumpty. This is what I call him, my Humpty Dumpty. Your dragon inside, your inner dragon, your inner fire, hasn't finished hatching. You haven't gotten to where you're breathing your fire from the heart yet, because you've still been maturing and growing, but it's time to bring it out. It's time to make it seen. This is prudence, productivity, magical, and patience all in one. This is illuminating the pinnacles that are capable of growing by putting everything in proper order. Because Virgo, hey, sorry, that just flew around. This is the sun in Virgo. You are illuminating your shine at your troubleshooting, at your organization skills, at your finger pointer, and realizing, oh no, I see right through the bullshit. Right through the bullshit. And let's go all the way down to the detail. If we're going to play horns here, if we're going to point fingers here, let's point fingers exactly where they need to be. Yeah, you can see the Virgo inside now. If we're going to go there, let's go there. Let's go all the way down the list and let's put things in the right direction and na. This is saying you're still getting it together. You're organizing all of that so that you can illuminate it and then grow into, as they put it, get your Humpty Dumpty so that you can hatch. Then they are giving me the Queen of Wands. Now, I don't know how much you follow the videos, but I always say the cheetah is about speed. But the cheetah also speaks to me directly about changing ego out for soulfulness and changing the DNA. This is an enlightening situation. She's not just the queen of inspiration and queen of motivation. She's a higher understanding. This is a motivational speaker who can actually motivate you with inspiration of a spiritual truth. So there might be a person here in your life that's doing this, or this may be you. Okay. Wow. That was kind of uncalled for. Is there anything else that Virgo needs to know? I'm being told also you need to find courage in your tranquility. In some cases, you do need to be the hermit right now. You do need to go inside and listen to your own darkness. And like I said, this is because you're having the sun and Venus jumping into Leo, which is your universal 12th house, at the end of the month. Get ahead of the game or be right on point with the game. This is really clearing out some of those emotional waters, illuminating the things that have to be changing so that you can get past the prudence. You can get past where the harvest isn't right because now you've healed the harvest. And what's in the womb will enter through the doorway, which is that lion's gate. And at the end of the month, there's going to be a very powerful illumination in August that's going to also take place on the 28th. So this is speaking to you of getting that right by that time. Is this a yes? Yeah, I didn't think so. Is this a yes? It just happened to be the way I was holding the cards. What else does Virgo need to know? Yes? The Holy Grail is coming your way. The Holy Grail is coming your way. But what are you filling that cup with is what they ask. You have the ability to fill that cup with, like I said, the Holy Grail, with the most divine water or with sewage. It is coming your way for a brand new beginning, a brand new emotional, healthy start, but it's up to you what you fill it with. Temperance, go inside and truthfully listen, because that is where revolution, soulful revolution, is created. Is there anything else from this deck? Anything else from this deck? I don't believe that one. It didn't feel hot enough. Apparently not, since they all just fell right out of my hands. We have the next deck as soon as I picked them up, because they were like, well, if you're going to be done, just be done. That's how I felt about that then. What can Virgo expect? What can Virgo expect? What can Virgo expect? What can Virgo expect? From the 16th through the 31st. What can Virgo expect? What did I just say? They say you need to be the hermit. Go inside. Go inside and clean up. Clean up your universal 12th house. Your skeletons in the closet. Do the hard work and the healing. And get the divine healing and transformation so that you can start the new cycle. But you have to know what you're lying to yourself about, why you're lying to yourself, and move forward. Is it yes or no? I don't know why I even flipped it over. Yep, it was. Queen of Cups is what they're telling you. It seems like this could be you. Even though it's a Cancer sign, there may be a Cancer of significance in your life. With the way that these cards are going, this feels like this could be you. And the Queen of Cups is a brand new beginning. It's an intuitive, natural healer. It speaks to you of getting in touch with yourself and the true depths. But she's also dreamy. She's also a little dreamy, and she's also a little emotional. Because she still really wants her love. She wants her love of everything to be just so and come clean. So she can be a little dreamy and sometimes lie to herself and keep things in that 12th house. Yeah, we're not going with you. What you can expect is the Sun card can be a very positive thing. Like I said in the beginning of this, the Sun card is coming up. It can be a very positive thing, illuminating that holy grail of Ace of Cups. But it all depends on where you take your Sun. Are you illuminating your pleasure, your blessings, or are you illuminating your sorrow, your grief, and your punishment? Because that's what will fill that cup. Then bringing you to the Queen of Discs, the Queen of Pentacles. They're telling you whatever you fill this Sun with, which is in that 12th house. Whatever you fill it with, are you filling it with the same lie, the same denial, let me put it in the closet? Say that you have a brick house, or your house is made of brick, and the closet is brick, and you put all of your skeletons in the closet so deeply in that you just said, well, let me just put another row of brick wall in front of the closet so we can forget that those skeletons are there. Are you doing that? Because if you're doing that, you're going to bring the Queen of Pentacles to you in a negative way. The Queen of Pentacles are upright, but I'm giving you the warnings. She's mothering, she's nurturing. You need to be nurturing yourself, nurturing what you desire, nurturing what you love, nurturing what you wish to see and create in this life. She brings courtship because she's the queen. She's making you come into a new level of authority within your life. She is the beginning of a situation. She is a partner, and she's wealthy, and she has prosperity. But most importantly, she's got security now. she's got security, and she can influence a situation because she's mothering and nurturing. So this is getting past the egotistical side, coming into a higher spiritual side that is now not really needing approval because she's become her own approval. And lastly, let's see. Yeah, it was this one, I think. Ha! That explains why they're both giving me them. I've accidentally got the two decks mixed up. So I might as well just mix them up and go with it the way they're giving it to me. And then fix it after the reading, right? So, let's see. Yeah, well, that's what they want me to do here. What does Virgo need to hear to help them as they move forward through the rest of July? What does Virgo need to hear to help them move forward? Alright, we're not doing like 10 cards. We need to simplify that some, folks. What does Virgo need to hear to help them move forward in a more positive and healing way? Alright, well, you can't all come out. Give them like a happy, healthy send-off. What do they need to help them get right with self? Don't be afraid to slow down, as this is when you can make real inner changes. And what else? Take time. Like they said, you're being given the Hermit. Take time. Always look for the good, even in the most difficult of situations. This is about teaching you how to change your thinking so that you can vibrate higher and you can ascend and use, like I said, that sun card and that resh in Hebrew in a more positive way as you move forward. Thank you. I was like, I know one of you are going to flip right over. Foster patience. Sorry, guys. You guys are definitely going inward for a while, but it sounds like you're going inward for a very positive thing, so that you can make it through that 12th house and truthfully illuminate with the energies that are taking place next month. Figure out what it is you truly want, you truly desire, you truly are after. Believe in it and go get it. And that was just me dropping cards because there's no more there. I love you guys, and I'll see you in August. Bye.